So if you're watching the recording, just skip ahead. Won't be long. You're good.
Where do you want me to stand?
Welcome everybody. We're going to be starting in a couple of minutes. So anyone that needs to have a seat, we've got a few here in the front, and then I'll just check, make sure everyone's good, find a place to stand or find a place where you're comfy. So you're good.
A couple of seats up the front.
Yeah. And there are a couple of seats just up the front if anyone wants to come in and sit down. Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. It's so good to see you all here. Welcome to this exciting and dynamic exhibition, The Essence of Tasmania, created by our Launceston artists here, Sandra Henderson and Susie Shaw. Did you want to stand up? Are you okay? Yeah. I'm Leanne Peters, and my husband Corey and I welcome you to Harmony on High Street here in Campbelltown. So before we start, Sandra and Susie would like to acknowledge a couple of people who couldn't make it today. So just bear with me while I read them out. Joan Humble, Robin and Sharon Wingrave, Shirley and Rod Roots Martin, Al and Anne Burke, and Cassie O'Connor. So I've absolutely enjoyed preparing the logistics for and setting up this exhibition. The work is so, what would you say, what was my word I had here? So much full of variation, and the standard is very high, so very high quality. For me, I find this exhibition, it portrays the atmosphere of Tasmania, and I find it really interesting the two artists can see Tasmania in such a different way. So we're going to find out a bit more about our artists. So Sandra,
Yes,
how did
Leanne.
your art journey begin?
Right, well, I always loved drawing and painting, even when I was little. In fact, my parents used to have to force me to go outside and play because I just wanted to stay inside and draw and paint. But then as time went on and life got in the way, I didn't really get seriously into art until I went to university in my 30s with 3 kids, and I became an art and English secondary teacher. I taught art and English for about 30 years, but during that time I didn't get to do any of my own art. It was only really making examples for the students. So until I retired, there wasn't a lot of art happening for myself, and it was only when I retired that I started to explore and start on my own art journey.
Very good. So it's sort of a bit of a late comer to the art scene?
Well, a lot of people come to art as late bloomers because they're so busy with work and bringing up a family that they don't have time. They've got that interest and they've got that talent there, but they don't have time to nourish it. And it's only when they get older and they retire or semi-retire that they start looking around and thinking about what they'd like to do. And I've seen some wonderful, talented artists who've really come to it very late in life. And I think it happens to a lot of people.
I wonder too if it's a bit of an experience thing, like as you get more mature and more experience with life, maybe there's that path that people are interested in exploring.
You're probably right. There's some of that, but a lot of it, I think, has to do with just time.
Yeah, time. And what about you, Susie? When did your art journey begin?
Mine started in about 1990, and I was at a Launceston show at the old Elfin Road Showgrounds, and I was Rosemary Masnack, watercolourist from Launceston, had an exhibition there, and in the corner was a flyer, and it just sort of said, if you'd like to have a go at watercolours, come join a class. So I put my name down and started, and I thought, oh, this is fun. And one of the first exercises I did there, I still use as a reference tool. So it was a really good grounding for art. And then I went on to start a uni degree when my daughter started school, and she's around here somewhere. So when she started school, I started uni, and at uni we had to do a unit from another school. So mine was health science. So I put in photography, missed that, so I started ceramics. So I did 2 years of ceramics and absolutely loved that, and was invited to do an arts degree, but I was so close to finishing my health science, I stayed there, finished that. And then I went back to just working with Rosemary on a weekly class, and then work decided that wasn't a designated class, so they didn't have to give me time off. So I thought, oh, damn that. So I went to TAFE and got into a class there and did 2 years of watercolour and drawing. And then I've done numerous 1 day, 2 day, 3 day workshops and numerous other workshops. Joan Humble's my mentor in Hobart for my miniatures. And I've got a pastelist in California I work with when I'm over visiting my sister. So with art, I think you're constantly learning. It's a constant journey of experimentation and learning, and it's never ending. But like Sandra, I got serious when I retired.
Yeah, so that first watercolour, I guess, serendipitous moment, how long ago was that?
1990.
Wow.
So quite a while ago.
Yeah, wowzers.
Yeah, and I remember practising one day and getting so carried away with it that both the kids came and said, Mum, are we eating tea tonight? And I thought, oh my God, I've deserted my children. But that does happen with art. You get very involved with what you're doing and you just want to finish this little bit before you go on and do something else. So it's very involved, but forever changing.
Yeah, and it's a way of life almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
very good. So, Sandra,
Yes,
your artwork, I find it quite inspiring. It's like peeking through the bushes, you know, what's in the bushes, what's in behind the waratah or the protea or that sort of thing. So can you tell us a bit about your process in creating your unique, vibrant, highly textured works of art?
Okay, well, there's a bit of a backstory there. When you're an art teacher, you know a little bit about a lot of things because you have to teach a lot of things. But you don't really know, well, you know a lot about the things you majored in at uni. But it was only when I retired again that I started to explore things for myself. And I went through just about everything you can think of. I had to make that list. Watercolour, mixed media, acrylics, alcohol inks, encaustic, and miniatures. And miniatures was Bob's favourite because you could fit a whole exhibition in a box. And because he carts my paintings around for me, that was important. So I sort of stuck with each of those for some time until I got sick of them. Maybe I've got a short attention span, but I do get sick of things after a while. But then about 5 years ago, I started playing around with texture and acrylics. And then I discovered an artist up in Queensland who was also doing the same thing, but at a much more advanced level than I was. And I've been to a few workshops with her. Her name is Dee Gillette Cox in Brisbane. She's been a wonderful inspiration for me. And I started to really develop the texture, and I like to do birds, flowers and animals. I'm not interested in doing landscapes. Too much information, I can't cope with it. I like to sort of focus in on something fairly small, something fairly intimate. And it's actually the process that intrigues me. I really enjoy the actual making and the process, so that's why I like trying so many different things. But these particular works, I start off with a canvas that I kind of rub colour all over, and then I use stencils to build up the texture. It takes a long time to build up the texture, because if I do this bit, it has to dry until I can do something next to it, because otherwise I'll mess it up. So the whole thing takes quite a long time. And then when I've done that, I paint into it and develop it to the finished stage.
So it's quite layered up then?
Very layered.
Yeah, and very textural. When you look up close, it's so textured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great, thank you.
Of course, I really love colour. You can all see that. They're not shrinking violets.
Thank you, Sandra. Okay, Susie, your work is versatile. You work with lots of different mediums. So how do you determine, like when you're looking at a scene or a subject matter, how do you determine which medium to go to best portray that?
Interesting question, and it takes me a while, and all of my art, apart from the rock up here, which my son took the photo of when he was tuna fishing, I've taken photos of myself, or I've been there, so I understand the area and the atmosphere of the place. But I decide what I'm going to do, and then decide on the medium I'm going to use, and then it comes into size and which orientation I'm going to use to do that. But there's a lot involved with that, and I always work with a grid. So I put, I know where I am, because I get lost with landscapes if I don't have a grid. But it varies with whether I'm doing watercolour, pastels, acrylic or oils. And oils is a new field for me. I've only been doing oils for about 18 months, but I really love the fluidity of oils. But I find I don't like the water-based oils. They don't work well for me, so I use proper oils, and I have to work outside because I don't like the smell inside. So most of my oils are done in the summer months, and the same with pastels, because I don't like the mess inside the house. Because you only have to drop one, and like me, if you drop it, you put your foot in and you walk all over the place with pastel dust. So that has to go. So I do both of those outside, and then the rest of the year, or any time of the year, I can do watercolours and acrylics. And watercolours I took to Maria Island earlier this year, because they're easy to travel with, and you can do small or large. You can roll them up. And I did pastels and watercolours when I was in the States for 2 months. So, yeah.
Very good. So it probably based too on how you feel at the time. And do you go through a stage where you're just using this one medium quite often, and then you change what you feel like using?
No, it usually swaps around with, as I said, time of the year and what I'm actually painting and where I am at the time. But yeah. I did do a series of 4 miniature seascapes, and they were all oils and similar palettes, so they were easy to work from one to the other. So when one was drying, I could work on the next one. So that was a useful way to work.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Susie. Okay, Sandra, we're standing in front of this beautiful piece, Keeping an Eye on Things. Can you tell us about this piece? Like, what was it like to create it? Was there any obstacle, or how do you feel about this piece? Can you tell us about it?
Well...
you might have to speak up though, that way.
Well, I like it. I don't always like my paintings. There's only about the last 3 that I've done that I usually like. I think that's the same for most artists. I don't think any of us really like our work, do we? Not very often. That's one of my favourite birds. That's the eastern spinebill, and he appears in quite a few of my paintings. Well, it was the same thing, the process of building up the texture. And I always use, I use colour theory. I never just randomly choose my colours. I use a colour wheel, and I always work out, using colour theory, a good combination of colours. And I usually have a fairly limited palette. And I'm very drawn to what's called a split complementary, which means a couple of colours on one side of the colour wheel and a few colours on the opposite side. And I find that if I stick to that, I usually get a fairly harmonious composition. If I try and just randomly choose colours, it doesn't work. That's probably one of my favourites in the exhibition. And yes, I just love bright colours, and you can see that.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sandra.
That's probably about all I can add to that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And Susie, do you want to tell us about your two works up here? So we've got the Sunset Seascape and the Eddystone Rock.
Well, as I said, the Eddystone Rock is one that Richard took when he was tuna fishing down there, and a very limited palette on that one. And I deliberately kept the sea underdone so that the focus is on the rock and the spray. And I really enjoyed painting that one. It just worked. And not all paintings work. Often you have to stop, paint over a bit and start again, or often they just don't work and you give up and you have to restart the whole thing. And I have done that. I've painted the whole canvas out and started from scratch all over again. This one, the Seascape, is Bennelong Bay. It's a favourite place. I've been going there since I was about 8. And you'll see this actual little bay in many of my works from different angles. I love the light, I love the rocks. I enjoy painting rocks. If you look around the exhibition, there's quite a few of my rocks. Ever-changing. The sun down here, sunsets down there are just beautiful. So with this one, it's starting from the top and working down, but I do use the same colours in the sky as I do in the water, so that hopefully they balance out. And again, you've got the orange rocks that you only get down the east coast.
Very nice.
And that's that one.
Beautiful works,
Can I
thank
say
you.
something about...
Yes.
I went to a workshop once, it was called Rocks and Rivers, and the tutor started the workshop off by holding up a potato, and she said, "This is a potato, it is not a rock." And I just want to point out that Susie hasn't got any potatoes in her paintings. They're rocks.
Very good, very good.
Sandra will tell me if there's a potato in my rocks.
I'm sure she will. So you guys seem to have a really good relationship. Like, you work together as a team really well. So what's the secret to this friendship, this artistic friendship?
Well, I just like her.
That helps.
Oh, we just seem to have a lot in common, and we're on the same wavelength. And I have to say that I've been in exhibitions with a lot of people, and Susie's a really good person to have an exhibition with because she pulls her weight and she's really well organised, and I really appreciate that.
Makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything?
No, it goes both ways. I think we do. We like and respect each other, and as artists as well, and we're constantly bouncing ideas and things off each other. And like a lot of artists do, if there's something that's not working in your painting, you ask another artist what's wrong. And if they're being honest, they will tell you, and that's what you need. And we've both got husbands that will tell us exactly the same thing too, which helps.
That's really good. So what's been the high point and the low point of getting ready for this exhibition for you?
Well, it's been really exciting, and I've appreciated very much you and Corey. You're very well organised too, and you've got great publicity skills and very impressive. I'd say one of the best exhibitions I've been involved with.
Oh wow, thank you.
In terms of your support and your skills and your social media coverage and everything, it's been fantastic. So I highly recommend it to all you artists out there. If you're looking for somewhere to have an exhibition, talk to them.
Oh, we should say join the queue.
Yeah, join the queue. We've got a big queue, big waiting list. So what's been your lowest point?
In terms of what?
In terms of preparing for the exhibition. Like, was there any time when you felt, sometimes there's fear, or you go create an artwork, it doesn't really sort of fit together and...
Oh, well, you create artworks you don't like very much all the time.
So you just sort of push through.
You push through,
Yeah.
you think about how you can fix them, you scrub this bit off, and it's not so easy with mine trying to scrub some off, I can tell you, with all that texture. But I have worked out how to do it. Pretty tedious. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, good. And what have you learned about yourself during preparing?
I need to be extremely well organised, and I need to be kind to my framers and give them time to frame my artworks before the exhibition.
Hands up, Beck.
I feel some last-minute framing took place.
So there are last-minute framing, but I enjoy the finished work and actually working out the mount and the frame with my frame. I love that part of it, and picking it up and seeing the finished product. So that's been really good. It's always great as an artist to see your work hanging up, and that's a joy to be with Sandra and her work. Yeah, so a high point, I think, is working with Sandra and getting it organised, and this is a very creative spot. It's beautiful, and we just hope it keeps going.
Thank you.
I
Thanks
just
very
remember
much.
one of the best bits for me was when we delivered and we walked out and said, "Phew."
Relief.
Yeah.
So, do we have any questions from anyone out there? Anything you'd like to know or ask? No?
Must have covered everything.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you very much.
I do, yes. This is a small gift for you and Corey from Sandra and I, in appreciation of everything that you and Corey have both done for us.
Thank you.
And we hope as it blooms you'll think of us.
Oh, thank you very
So
much.
that's for both of you.
Thanks, Susie and
thank you.
Sandra. Thank you. So thanks everyone for coming. If you're interested in any of Sandra or Susie's work, just see myself or Corey. Sandra and Susie will be back here on Sunday the 18th of May to do some demonstrating at the front over there where the drinks are. So if you'd like to see them in action, they'll be here from 11 o'clock till early afternoon. Please stay and browse, chat. There's some refreshments. Yeah, there's lots of food. Refreshments up the back over there. And you have one thing to say?
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It's quite a long way and we really do appreciate it. My family surprised me. They said they weren't coming and then they all turned up. And thanks very much to Mike and Bob too for looking after the drinks.
Yeah, thank you very much. So thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for watching online. We've got a few people commenting. Hello, no one's asked a question. And I want to congratulate Sandra and Susie on a fantastic exhibition. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. There's someone watching now if you want to wave.
Hello.
Not yet. Someone's saying hello.
Oh, hi.
Bye. Thanks for watching.